Scariest attractions in the world. What is your idea of a good holiday? To some people, holiday means lying on the beach with a cocktail drink and tanning. Holiday to other people means doing lots of stuff and activities throughout the day to impress your friends, and there is another definition of a good holiday to other people who take it to an extreme. Some people take the concept of doing something crazy a bit far that it turns to be scary. Some people are actually addicted to doing scary stuff for the sake of adventure. They love the adrenaline rush, but this is the kind of holiday that you do not want to tell your parents about. Indeed, it impresses your friends and you will never stop bragging about how brave and daring you are, but a lot of people would think you are really putting your life at risk and you are completely out of your mind to go this far. In this world, there are some sites that are dedicated to those people who love going on crazy adventures. Now, you are about to see some of those scariest attractions in the world that will leave your knees weak and make your knuckles go white. Let us see if you are brave enough and crazy enough to go through some of those scary experiences. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to Viral Now and hit the bell so you never miss an upload from us. Also, leave us a like right now. With this being said, let's start. On this trip, do not buckle your seatbelts if you are planning to fly and you want to know how it feels like. Here we go. 5. Bungee jumping, New Zealand. I am sure you heard about bungee jumping several times because it has become a cool trend that everyone wants to give it a try. But what makes it so scary, particularly in New Zealand? The Kawaru Bridge in Queenstown is almost regarded as the highest site ever that is almost 43 meters high. Do you think that is not very scary? Well, it is a totally different story when you are up there and waiting to jump. Now that is a really tough adrenaline rush, don't you think? That is what makes this particular site a major fascination to tourists and locals as well. So if you do not have acrophobia, you might have fun trying this out. Yet, it is really dangerous, I suppose. But who does not want to challenge themselves and their friends with daring to do something extremely different and dangerous? You can throw all the blame on the Kiwis who invented all this idea of bungee jumping, but at least it is a popular activity and there are many safety precautions that are taken into consideration. And thankfully, it is less scary than what you are about to see right now in just a few seconds. So brace yourself, for the best is yet to come. 4. Devil's Pool, Zambia. This one is not really as scary as it seems, or perhaps safer than other things. One sure thing is that site is perfect for taking amazing photos. In some particular times around the year, you can go swimming in this small pool. This pool forms what seems to be a ledge above the boisterous Victoria Falls. When you take a look at its photos, you will think it is not a very good idea to take your desire for a one-of-a-kind adventure this far. But are you seriously just going to quit? Well, I do not blame you if you do, because there is a very high possibility that you will get washed over by a crazy water torrent. So it is not a very peaceful area to swim in and just chill out by laying on your back. Take your floaters with you and a life jacket, because you will be flipped over more than one time by the aggressive water torrents. So you chose this adventure. Don't you think it is worth it? I think that this is especially made for people who just cannot wait to see how it feels like when someone is drowning. Zambia is a cool place when you can do lots of crazy, dangerous stuff, isn't it? If you have ever tried it, post the photos and let us praise how brave you are. 3. Climb Mount Hao San, China. This one is way crazier than the previous adventures. Just make sure you really are not afraid of heights, because it would be a very big problem once you get there. All ready and excited for a cool adventure, then figure out you are dead scared of heights. This place has taken heights to an extreme. Just forget about having a ground below you. The trickiest part about this adventure is that it really starts gentle and so smooth. You would even doubt it is scary as was told to you. You start by climbing up a mountain in Shaanxi, China, and this is the safest part of the crazy journey. Later on, you will find yourself standing on wooden planks that are put in a pattern that make it look like very big staples. That thing is hanging to a cliff, and it is about a few solid 100 meters above the ground. Can you already feel the adrenaline rush by just imagining yourself walking in that place? Well, what is worse is the fact that nobody regulates that thing. So it is just hanging, and God knows when it will collapse. Hopefully it does not. So how risky that adventure is. Before trying it out, I thought it would be good to tell you how it would go in case you had no idea. Well, do you think it is worth it to climb that mountain just to exercise your faith? I cannot imagine how no one in particular regulates that thing. People's lives should be taken more seriously, and I think those who are in charge there, if there are any, put into consideration some safety precautions. Are you ready for that challenge? 2. Walking Safari, Zimbabwe. I do not understand how some people find this adventure fun, but anyway, their idea of fun is certainly different than mine. If you have a wild nature and you are a fan of the wilderness and anything that is described as wild, then surely this adventure would be suitable to you. Zimbabwe is the place you are searching for if you want to prove to your friends how cold-blooded and fearless you are. This journey is all about walking in the wilderness. How can that be scary? Well, I am about to tell you. You go for a walk, of course, with a guide in one of the national parks like Huang. In this particular park, lions are found in abundance. Not only lions, but other wild animals like elephants, cheetahs, rhinos, and any other wild animals that will cross your mind. No, you do not go there in the park on this journey in a car. This is not a normal safari. Let me remind you, it is a place that is a serious thrill. But here is some safety precaution. The guide carries a gun in case there is an emergency, so has to shoot the predator that wants to have you for lunch. I do not blame the lion, to be honest. This is already his home and you are intruders. Plus, you offer the lion a very easy lunch that does not require hunting and chasing deers and so on. That's it. You are literally walking in the wilderness and supposedly you expect getting attacked because you are looking for lions, and not only that, but you also want them to see you. But why? Sometimes it is for the sake of taking wild photos and bragging about your courage. Sometimes it is just to have fun, and other times it is because you are curious. But let me remind you that curiosity killed the cat. That is 100% incredible adventure that would give you a really good adrenaline rush. Do not worry. Some people are just fond of risking their lives, but at least they think they have fun. You only live once, but that saying does not necessarily mean you go putting your life at risk. The most important thing is just be careful with your decisions. Have fun. 1. Scuba diving during the Sardine Run, South Africa. This is similar to some extent to the previously mentioned wild adventure, but this one is crazier and life-threatening by all means. If someone is brave enough to walk in the wilderness and stare at lions, what could make that person afraid of getting into the water with sharks and sea creatures? This adventure is for all of you feeding frenzy fans. This adventure is a feeding frenzy, but that time it is not a game. It is a crazy adventure. In June and July, there is a natural phenomenon that occurs every year in South Africa and the Durban coast. It is the migration season for sardines and other types of fish. The migration is from the cold waters of the Cape to the warm waters of KwaZulu-Natal to provide a suitable atmosphere to breed. Sardines are not scary, and it would be cool to join their migration journey, but they are as victimized as you will be. They are not the only sea creatures that migrate. Guess who else? Dolphins. Wow, so that would be awesome. But not only dolphins, sharks are definitely going on this journey because they can feed on the sardines and the tiny fish that are migrating. Now, people find that such a really attractive sight, so they put on their diving suits and they even jump into the water with the sardines, the dolphins, and the sharks. Why? For the sake of adventure. In other words, they want to take a closer look at the fish and specifically the sharks during their lunchtime. But what made you so sure that you would not be the sharks' easy dinner? Perhaps the sharks are blinded by their hunger and they would just chase the sardines first. Just try not to bleed during that feeding frenzy because you will not be very lucky in that situation. You will be more attractive than the sardines. This is all for now, although there are hundreds of scary attractions in the world. Make sure you are really ready for such crazy adventures because once you set your mind, there is no going back. For example, climbing the crazy mountain in China and walking on that thing is more or less similar to walking on a rope, but this time you are not in the circus, but you only have one option, which is to keep going on calmly until you get out of it safe and sound. I do not think these challenges should be taken lightly because they are life-threatening indeed, but at least you already know that. Now it is up to you to choose what you want to do on your holiday. Go crazy or just chill. But if you want to go crazy, pick a partner who is a ride or die friend because it would be much more interesting and worthwhile when you share those crazy moments with someone dear. It is your turn now to tell us in the comments section below. What is your favorite attraction from those we have just mentioned to you? Have you ever gone through one of those adventures? If yes, tell us how it felt like. If no, then tell us which one do you want to try. One more thing, what other crazy and scary adventures that you want to try? Suggest some in the comments. Have a nice holiday, people, but just please stay safe because it is better safe than sorry.